Hey guys, I am MG, and today I'll be looking at Phase 1 of Marvel One-Shots, which contains 3 direct-to-video short films that are The Consultant, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer, and Item 47, which were all written by Eric Pearson, with Lytham directing the first 2, and Louis D'Esposito directing Item 47. However, why don't we stop shooting and start reviewing these short films right now? First up is The Consultant. Yeah, this one didn't really work for me. I mean, it's about nothing. It doesn't provide any interesting detail beneficial to the MCU, and you can basically ignore it. I like both Phil Coulson and Jasper Sitwell, with very natural acting from Clark Gregg and Maximiliano Hernandez, but they're just stopping the abomination from being released, and that's it. I mean, it was nice to see the post-credit scene of The Incredible Hulk, which features both Tony Stark and Thaddeus Ross, but it's just recycled footage. And it would have been funny if we saw Stark actually annoy Ross, buy the bar building, and schedule it for demolition, instead of just being told about it by Coulson. I did like the brief music in it though. I thought it was really impressive to get a score that fits the scenario of, well, a chat. And the directing is nothing substantial. It's just standard shots of 2 guys talking and nothing creative at all. This short gets a 4.2 out of 10. Then there is A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer. This, in my opinion, is much better than The Consultant. It involves Coulson going to the gas station, stopping 2 robbers, and that's the whole premise. But it honestly works really well. Coulson is pretty funny here, and one of his best appearances in the MCU. And I love how he just buys all the donuts, acting like he didn't defeat the bad guys. And I got more out of the direction as well. There were far more creative edits and cool slow motion shots that fit the wacky scenario of the story, while also not feeling out of place. I do wish the short was a little longer, with maybe Coulson making more silly quips, since it does end quite quickly, and these robbers weren't very good. And it would have been welcome if the script made them sillier, rather than just playing with them completely straight. But overall, I really enjoyed the short for what it was. Nothing amazing, but it does provide a fun backstory, and it makes Coulson right, as he was one of my favorite characters. So that was good to watch. 7.8 out of 10. Lastly is Item 47. It follows this couple finding a Chitauri gun and using it to get a better life. This is okay, I guess. Like, I thought the brief action at the motel and bank were pretty good, especially with the bank, with it having some solid visual effects and nice slow motion edits. That was a good start to the film, despite how it gets somewhat worse later on. I also like the return of Jasper Sitwell, and he does serve a lot of purpose in the story. Plus, that reference to Coulson's death in The Avengers was nice, even though it wasn't very effective. But the main couple, Benny and Claire, are pretty uninteresting, and I don't have any investment in their characters, with kind of weak acting from Lizzy Caplan and Jesse Bradford. The ending was also kind of lame and stupid. Jasper invites the couple to join S.H.I.E.L.D., and there's no protesting that idea from anyone. Felix, the boring minor character, tries to protest, but then he just accepts it. That doesn't make any sense. And overall, this short was decent enough, with good action, but it was mainly dull, and never really had any real enjoyment, except for maybe in the bank. 6.3 out of 10. In terms of how I would rank all these shorts from worst to best, first it would be The Consultant, next Item 47, and lastly, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer. This is a very mixed bag of a collection, and I don't think it's worth to see all of it, but I would recommend to watch at least the second short. This whole collection gets a 6.5 out of 10. Goodbye everyone, and thank you for watching. Bye!